Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the first time I'm going to be doing two videos in 2 days because I did one yesterday off the cuff, and I think one thing I want to do more is consistency. So whether that means more videos or just life in general, more consistency in what I do. We're coming up to the middle of the year and I'm thinking back to what I set as my New Year's resolutions. Have I achieved them? No, but I do feel that I'm starting to move forward, and that's a kind of very grey type of area. And I think we should all have these moments to review our year, whether you do it weekly, monthly, quarterly. We do need to review, and an unmeasured life is a empty one, or whatever the phrase should be. So I'm going to be sitting down and looking at the segments of my wheel of life, which I've talked about in the past, where you segment your life into different sections: career, finance, health, relationships, spirituality or emotional health, so on, and to see how I've progressed. Because again, coming up to the middle of the year, and I'm sure at some point I'll be saying, wow, it's already Christmas and what have I done, and la la la. As ever, we can always do better, and that's the thing, we could always do better. But I want to show myself some grace. I want to be honest with myself. Yes, I can do better, but look where I was a year ago. Look where I am now. I mentioned in the video yesterday this need to do more hard things. And this isn't hard things in a kind of painful, this might hurt my self. Well, it might hurt. But actually it's classically getting outside the comfort zone. I know where my comfort zone limits are in certain areas of my life. And again, if I segment it around money, around health, around relationships and so on, I know I should be making more of an effort to see friends. I know that perhaps I'm not taking enough risk in the stock market. I know my workout regime could be a bit more taxing. So those areas, I guess, is one way of looking at it. So look at your life, look at each area, look to see where you are not testing yourself. And things don't have to be like proper, now I'm going to run a marathon type of testing, but just little incremental things. So, for example, I've started to do cardio again. I hurt my leg late last year, so I haven't been going running for probably since early this year. But I have got onto a bike in the last month or so, and so things like that, it's pushing me forwards rather than giving up on all things cardio. On the finance side, I've been looking at what amount of cash I'd feel comfortable having sitting on the sidelines as a rainy day fund, emergency fund, and anything left over has to go into an investment. That's what I'm telling myself. So I've set myself a gauge, a level of cash, and because I know that longer term returns come from investment, not just saving. You can save, and get 4%, 5% maybe if you're lucky on a high yield savings account, but that's not the same as the 9-10% perhaps you can get investing in an index fund over time. I say over time, on an annualized basis, but if you compound the stock market returns over time, whereby you're getting twice the return you get on cash anyway, then over time that adds up to a lot more money. But that's for another video in terms of trying to understand investing. But this is really about what can I do to push myself towards being a bit more risk, a bit less risk averse, a bit more embracing the burn, as I've said in another video. So yeah, so I'm going to be segmenting, taking a look at all those different segments of my life, and see what I can do to kind of test myself. Something I heard yesterday on another podcast, which I thought was quite interesting, is sitting in silence. So for example, if I look at the emotional part of my segments, one thing I can try and do is get a timer and sit in silence for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. You might not think that that's a big thing, but genuinely, how often do you just literally sit in silence? No TV, no phone, no people, just literally sit, stare at the wall without any distraction. And that's going to be incredibly hard for a lot of people in this world where they need stimulus, social media, Netflix, background music, etc. So think about it. How often do you actually sit there doing nothing for 5 minutes? And so for me, that is another thing I'm going to try to apply more often to test myself, to push myself. Again, it might not sound much to you now, but you try it. See how that 5 minute silence works for you. I did it yesterday and I'd forgotten. I used to do it in the past and I'd forgotten how easily irritable you get for that first, say, minute. And that 5 minutes seems to last forever. And it's only 5 minutes. You know, the same 5 minutes you would have spent watching this video. It's mad. So look for ways in which you can test yourself. Keep testing yourself. Keep reviewing what you've learned about yourself. Write it down, record it on your phone, and yeah, keep pushing. Okay, I guess this is all I've got today, because again, I did a video yesterday, which was me slightly getting out of my comfort zone, doing a video in public, which was kind of weird, but I need to do more of these things, and yeah, that's where I am at now. So that's it for now. Bye.